presentation, for those encouraging words on our profession and sharing your views on Indian economy. We now move on to the second part of the presentation. Friends, 5 years ago, the rupee value was rising as never before, propelled by a soaring economy. There was a lot of optimism about India being a superpower by 2020. But come 2013, the Indian rupee witnessed a slippery fall against dollar. What seemed to be a myth of rupee quoting at 60 became a reality. And not only a reality, it touched an all-time low of 68 back in August 2013. Jokes about this depreciating currency appreciated at a much faster rate on the social media, and it was termed as the surging rupee setting a new record every day. In the past 1 month, however, the rupee has managed to recover some ground. However, the question still hangs. How did India get into this mess? Was it homegrown or imported? To enrich us more on this topic, we have a highly ranked subject matter expert, Mr. Ashok Gautam, Senior Vice President and Head Global Markets of Treasury at Axis Bank. He is a finance professional having 27 years of experience in various areas of banking. His qualifications includes MBA Finance and Marketing, Certified Financial Risk Manager, and Diploma in Banking Management and Treasury. He is regularly invited by various TV channels to share his views on currency and interest rates. And today, we are fortunate to have him live with us, sharing his views. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ashok Gautam.
Chairman, C.A. Sanjay Gupta. Vice Chairman, can I see? Maybe it's invisible somewhere. Meenakshi Sundaram, I'm getting the names right. And the Secretary, C.A. Kapil Bhatt. And the lovely audience which we have here. Namaskar, Salam Alaikum. So happy to be here. This is my first visit to Bahrain. And kind of strength which we have here, it's already giving me. How much time I have?
You can take only 45 to 40 minutes.
Okay. I'll stop when any one of you feel hungry. Okay. No, I am the only one in between you and your dinner. Okay. So rupee at the crossroads. If it bugs or not, let me see first. Oh, this works. Okay. So this is how your motto says: engage, enrich, empower. So I'll try to engage. I can't enrich you. You all are rich enough. You all are empowered by what your profession has given you. So let me try to engage with you. Okay. So the INR story, and I'm actually coming here so that none of you go out. Okay. I'll be here in this corner. Okay, so INR story we have put into these 3 parts. And as this is a round table, so let me take rounds and try to spin a web so that you can't escape. Okay, recent developments and trends we'll look at. We'll look at the USD outlook because it's intertwined. And the rate, whenever we talk about, normally you all must be talking about 1 Bahraini dinar. Normally people say 1 USD how much. So USD outlook is very important because it actually affects what is going to happen to INR. And then certainly the INR fundamentals. Okay. So let's see some of these things. My senior colleague has already because I used to work with State Bank of India at some point in time. And it so happened that both of us joined at the same year. So this is the first time we are meeting. It's such a big bank. Okay, so recent developments and trends. Some of these things we'll just look at. But before that, this is the chart you saw earlier also. But let us put the events where the rupee movement is being shown in this chart. What are those events? Some of them are here, but let's see which are the critical ones. Here. Okay, this is where the story starts. Fed indication of rollback of stimulus to start in September. that was when actually when Gandhi came up with a statement where everybody was zapped. And everybody was again zapped when he said, no, I am still thinking. Okay? So that's where when suddenly the rupee started depreciating. And then suddenly RBI comes into act. It bans currency future trading for us, people like us, the banks. Essentially, I am actually from the trading side. So if you have any questions on the economy and whatever, because of my presentation, I will refer to my economist. Okay. And I always tell him that he makes his living without ever being right. And I have to be at least right 50% of times to make a living. Okay. So here, some of the things which actually sap the market, and that's where it triggered RBI hikes MSF rate to 10.25. Now, I'm sure you all are chartered accountants, so you know what is MSF. MSF was always there, but it was not the operating rate. Operating rate was repo. So LAM is a window which operates on the repo rate. That operating window suddenly became MSF. Because what they said, you can't borrow in this LAM window beyond a particular sum. And in the banking sector, that sum became 36,000 crores. Earlier, whatever amount you wanted to borrow from RBI, if you had the securities, you could always borrow at 7.25 at the time. And suddenly it said, no, 0.5% is what you can borrow of your NPL. Other than that, please come to my this window, which is at 10.25. So suddenly the operating rate became 10.25 and market will match it. Ostensibly, this move was to halt rupee weakness. But what was the impact? Rupee goes up.
If you identify in that space, it will be easy for us.
Okay, so I'll do it on both sides. I'll do it on both sides. Because I just wanted everybody to do some exercises, you know. Okay. Okay. So, sorry about this. Yeah. Okay. So this is what you've seen here. What I was telling you about MSF. Then they restricted it. So these were joint moves, and this actually killed rupee. And rupee certainly went up to 69. So how many of you actually sent rupee at that time? Okay, let's see. Raise of hands. No, I'm coming to that, sir. You are stealing my thunder. Okay, so you all thought it will go to 79 and then you will send. It always happens. Sorry? 80? Okay. I heard someone saying 85. Some people waiting for 100. 100. This way and this way, we actually save around 45,000 crores of the banking system by this measure alone. Because at MTM losses they said you can do it as on 15 July. That was the night when they issued the circular. Okay, then the rock star comes. Raghuram Rajan. Did you read Shobha Day's article about Raghuram Rajan? Please Google search. And then you will realize, why she was Stardust. Okay. And when Fed surprised the market, no tapering, and suddenly we saw rupee gaining, and then suddenly Mr. Rajan says, repo rate goes up, market is confused, rupee again. We'll see after this. So we can move on. See, I've got 75 such slides. If I take 5 minutes per slide, then we'll have breakfast here. No breakfast, sir? Only supper? Only supper. Okay. Midnight supper. Okay, fine. But my friend has told me that they only paid for my airfare and I have to earn my dinner. So they are giving me some time. So I'll earn my dinner. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Some of these measures my friend has already spoken, so I will not waste my time on this. This also you all know, CAs know much more than what I know. And again, financial markets and capital controls, let's leave this for the moment. This also will know much more than what I know. Let's look at this. Okay, favorite topic comes. Restricting bullion imports to lower cap. Do you all agree with this?
Yes.
No.
We agree that there is period.
Yes, sir.
We agree that they have done this.
They have done?
They have done this. We agree.
You agree?
Yes, they have done. We agree.
They have done. Man, do you buy gold? Yeah? You buy gold? Sir, you buy gold? Jewelry?
EPS code.
Bullion? Okay, now this point is always there that whether it should be stopped or not. I'll give you one story here. It's simple. So wives buy gold jewelry knowing fully well that this is a current account item. What is current account item? It is consumption. So for wives it is consumption. And husbands pay for it knowing fully well that it is a capital account item. So people will continue to buy. I mean, this could be reverse also. Who is paying depending upon? So let's say one spouse and another one. Let's not get into it. Somebody will say yes, we will I mean, okay. So this is fine. So I was in Dubai in a seminar 2 weeks back. There one of the speakers said, like my friend here, that gold import in India has reduced. So I asked the audience whether the gold export from Dubai has reduced to India. He was talking about something I did not say. So there are some of the measures which they took. So restraining speculation INR. But when Dr. Rajan spoke about his first speech, he said speculation is good. And as a dealer, I have been saying all along speculation is good. But because whenever the auditors come to my dealing room, I always say speculation is bad. Don't speculate. I only cover the merchant positions. But the more you remove speculation, it removes the depth from the market. And this is what happens when the rupee just goes one direction, another direction, because there is no depth. A tiny amount of 50 million to 80 million, because I am on the trading side, it can move rupee by 80 paisa, 70 paisa on any given day. Because there is no enough depth. Who provides the depth? The speculators provide the depth. Because when the market is on one side, who will stand on the other side? So it is a speculator. You will see at some point of time this will reverse. So he will take his chances. Anyway, so some of these measures you have all seen. So let's move on. Now, this is something which we have seen on 20th, that is yesterday. So you see, my presentation is very updated. Nothing happened on Friday. Okay. So reduce the NSF rate by 75 basis point to 9.50. So now the new operating rate is from 10.25 to 9.50. But still market did not like it. They all hammered the banking stocks, saying that the rates have gone up. The repo has been increased by 25 basis points, but this repo will become operating rate when the NSF comes down and there is withdrawal restriction on the repo, that you can't take only 0.5% of your entity. Till then, the operating rate is 9.5. So I couldn't understand the market why it actually hammered everything. But in view of this, the outlook has a little bit changed. Though Dr. Rajan in their Q&A which followed the policy announcements, there he continued to say my stand is neutral. That I am not going to say whether the repo rate will further go up. But we don't know. Let's see what happens. This is my favorite table. So, 1st Jan, 11th, 12th September, I am purposely taking 12th September because then India retained the first spot. Otherwise, on a particular date when we were making this, it was 3rd. Okay, so it became 1st. That means it lost 41.9% of its value from this date to this date. This makes a good headline. Breaking news: India, the worst currency in the world. How that happened? Anyway, let's move on. But you have seen this chart. So at some point of time, we actually performed worse than the market. This is comparative performance of emerging market currencies, and you can see India somewhere there. This is here. You are seeing this yellow line. What is happening there? Steady. They are managing their currency very well. Sir, yes. You know, there was a period of around 2 decades when Japan became the darling of the world. When was it? When US did not force them to strengthen their currency. They kept their currency weak. The same thing is happening in China. In the last 10 years, despite being an exporter to the whole world, their currency continues to remain weak. And this helps their export year after year. And the moment our currency weakens, we all start short. Not the energy of the love. So Brazil and Indonesia have hiked their rates, and India has also. But the lesson which I am trying to draw through that their currencies are weaker now. So does it mean we will also remain weak? We'll see that. Okay, so India is among top vulnerable countries. So I'll point there, not here. So India is here, short-term debt to net FX reserves and structural current account balances. So if you see, India is not so bad, but still not so good also. So these are some of the problems which will continue to impact rupee in a big way. Till the time we take care of this, rupee weakness is not going to go. This is Dixie imposed trajectory versus the USD INR. If you see, till this point, I'll point at both sides, 24 July, and I will take this slide at a later point of time also. But here if you see, the rupee has gone away from the Dixie movement. And I show to you, Dixie is this is the index, dollar index against 6 currencies. India, INR is not one of them. Yeah, INR is not one of those. So I'll show you that chart, historical chart, where you will find that it was almost following how the Dixie was moving. But from this date, it stopped following it. It took on its own chart. Okay. So recent trends in foreign flows. This is you have seen debt and equity. I better show it to you in a tabular form, which is easier to understand. This is in a tabular form. If you see what has happened, June, July, August. This is the exit from the country. July, August. So only in September till 18th, the data which I had, we had a net inflow. But in the financial year 14, that is 13-14, we have seen a net outflow of 5 billion. Now, India needs your dollars. So NRIs please give your dollars to fund this 5 billion out. And there are a lot of things which Dr. Rajan has announced. So next question, is the INR undervalued at the current levels? So where it should be? So this is the RER chart, see. And what are we seeing here? This is 100 mean based on 600 trade basket. 2004-5 is the 100 when this index was prepared. So right now, what it is saying that it is undervalued. But we'll see some more. Now, based on this inflation differential, that is on the US CAGR CPI versus India core WPI and the US CPI versus India WPI, we should have been here or here. But then I asked my economists to please work on US CPI and India CPI. Because if you know that interdifferential theory, so that's how the currency should move based on the inflation differential. In India they don't use it. So I asked them, please use CPI. So can you make a guess what rupee should have been? Yeah, somebody used 100. So it was actually coming 100. Yeah.
Does that become the intrinsic value?
I really don't know, sir.
Economics.
As I told you, I am not an economist, but certainly that's something to be thought about, because now Dr. Rajan is more and more saying instead of WPI, I will also look at CPI. For a long time, everybody was looking only at WPI because our CPI has some infirmities, but you are saying which actually makes sense. So, possibility of issuing a diaspora bonds which will be interested. So let's look at some of this past history and let us look at this. This is a key number, minus 4.8. So CAD as percentage of GDP is highest at this point of time. Are you getting it, sir? In 1991 it was minus 3. It was in RIV, Resurgent India bond, it was this much, and India Millennium Deposit it was minus 1. But at this point of time, this is highest. Our economy has grown, but this is highest. So, 2 question marks because I don't have any answer. There is a debate going on. But, for the benefit of all of you, FCNRB rates have been increased. So, what Reserve Bank of India has said till 30th November, 3 year and above, swap rate plus 400 banks can offer. And this month's rate for 3 year is 4.97. Mind you, because of the US tapering getting postponed, the swap rate is going to come down. So, use this window. Because every month it gets fixed. Every month and it gets fixed and long. Number 2, many of the banks, if I can say, including Axis Bank, and the HDFC Bank CEO is here, including HDFC Bank. Many of the banks are offering a leverage up to 1:90. That makes your yield 18% plus. Please make use of it.
Who to contact?
Sir, I give you my email ID at the end of the show. So that now you will stay here. You will not rush out for the dinner. Sorry. Sir, we will discuss on it. So my dinner is only for this presentation. For that I will have lunch. Okay. Okay.
But 1:90, do you think it's a very high level?
Sir, there are benefits on both sides.
1:90?
There are benefits on both sides. And only people like me are paying for it. Because I pay my tax in India. Who else pays tax in India? So sir, you will be also paying for it. Okay, so let's look at this number. This is quite interesting. Sumit bhai, please tell me when I have to stop. I mean, when I have earned my dinner, yes. Okay, limits utilized. This is, you see, 81 billion is the limit which right now Government of India has fixed for corporate bonds, GSEC, for foreign entities to come and invest in India. But we still have a room available, 45,000. As we showed you the minus, we showed you the outflow, so people have run away from India. But hopefully, with the US tapering getting tapered, the cheap money is available outside, so they will again, they might come again. So this is again a factor which might influence the rupee movement going forward. If this 36 billion room is taken by FIIs, which is quite a lot of money. But imagine, this is all part. Can again go at any point of time. So I don't know. We need NRI money, 3 years office. with time in that leverage, sir, 19%. Phenomenal. Okay, let's look at this. So India's experience with currency defense. What we did earlier, again we have taken some steps. So the point what we are trying to say, whenever we took some strong measures for currency defense, we were able to manage the currency. So hopefully this time also we will be able to manage the currency. Right, sir? Okay. So next 10 minutes for USD outlook, then we come to INR. So let's look at this. Global growth is likely to pick up gradually. I don't know what to say, but this is what it is. In emerging markets and developing world is the highest, but some signs are there that other economies are also going to grow. And this is the unemployment number. Now it's written outlook not very optimistic. A is the outlook, so we don't know whether it is going to happen. Not very optimistic. So this is how various groups which are there, US, Euro area, MENA, DA is developing Asia, CIS, EE, LAC. So all this is how the unemployment, and it is not looking very optimistic. This is a scatter chart. Who understands the scatter chart? Any of you have seen this scatter chart? It took me 2 days to understand it, sir. So, but I try to tell you in 2 minutes. This actually, if you see the blue dots are the numbers vis-a-vis USD growth and the Dixie movement. Their number. So that means at any particular point of time during this year, March 00 to December 12, now these are not labeled. They are not intended to be labeled because it's scattered. That is how it behaved, and from September 9 to December 12 it behaved like this. And these lines are actually correlation lines. The correlation line, if it is 45 degree, then it is a perfect correlation. But as it is a flattish, the correlation is not so good. So what does it mean? Let us read what is written. While a growth-driven strength in USD may still coexist with strong emerging market effects, this is not the case if there is an element of risk aversion supporting USD, which worryingly may be the case in at least the near term. And you can be 100% sure I have not written this, because I cannot use this type of language. This slide my economist is prepared. So please, if you don't understand it, we all blame. Right. So let's look at QE table. So highlights of FOMC review on 17. We have all seen this. No tapering. US GDP forecast, US GDP forecast is now down to 3, and the median Fed funds rate projection so and so. Let us look at the implications, then we'll rush. So risk assets are likely to take the news positively. They took actually the next day would be gain. Money had not been done, but it came. Positive for Asian economies. Promising further upside for INR, Dr. Rajan Billing, and impact may be short term as the Fed will start the rollback soon. And what we are saying, let us look at the probability of QE tapering to be started in December. So from 80, if they withdraw 5, these are the numbers. So if they go small, USD aggressive, whatever, we don't know. But hopefully market is looking at 10 billion. From 80 they will come to 70, the tapering. Now this is what I told you, the index value of Dixie, but let's go out of it. This is all going to be very good. Let's move to the simpler things. So what we are saying, even if central banks are to halt liquidity injections, we believe there will still be excess liquidity. So let us not worry too much about it. That's the message of this slide. And we are also saying that the private capital flows to emerging market Asia may not taper significantly. What we are saying that the money will continue to flow to emerging market, hopefully, or as C.S. Sanjay Gupta was saying, inshallah. And let's leave this again. It will take me a long time to explain this. considering economics, I love this portion of this because now I am selling India to India. Why should I do